recording, get that out of the way, and here we go. And I'll edit this down a little bit, so if we're not perfect, I'll make it look nicer. Alrighty. So, hi.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Layla, real name. You might know me as Margot on Instagram and Margot Escargot on YouTube and Tumblr.
Yes. And we love you on YouTube and Tumblr. Yeah. So today we're doing an interview about your locks. And the first question I had was, how long have you had your locks?
These ones I've had 2 sets.
Okay.
But the first set was such a failure. I had the first set for like a month, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And these ones are like 1 year old.
Oh, congratulations.
1 year old yesterday.
Awesome.
1 year old and 1 day old.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't realize you're already at 1 year.
You didn't know?
No! I thought you were like still at 8 months or 6 months or something. Time flies, I guess. So, my next question is, how long was your hair when you started your locks? And what method did you use to start them for this set?
They were, I think, like down to my belly button.
Mm-hmm.
And how I started them, I use all of the methods. Like, I have natural ones, I have crocheted ones, I have backcombed ones. But the main thing I did was, when I first started them, like, okay, I can show you on this one. This is just normal hair. First, I backcombed like this much,
Mm-hmm.
so that it would have like a base, and then I twist and rip that, and then I crocheted it, and that was all.
Oh,
and
that's
I never, yeah,
that's really similar to the method I use. I'll like back comb a little and then twist and rip,
Yeah.
crochet, but then I just repeat it in like 2 centimeter segments all the way down.
never heard before anyone else like backcomb the first bit and then twist and rip.
Yeah, well, it makes sense.
I'm the only one.
Oh, alrighty. So, my next question is, do you do any maintenance?
Nope.
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 Do you
So
even
proud of it.
separate them or anything like that?
I separate them, but like it's usually like once a month or like every 3 weeks or something. It's just when I'm like playing around with my hair. If I feel like some things, some dreads are getting really stuck to each other, I rip them apart. But it's been getting more painful
Oh
the
no.
past. I don't know why.
Oh, maybe you should do it more often.
Yeah, maybe. Not less separate. That's actually really smart.
Then less to do. Okay, so that's your only form of maintenance. That's cool. So you're mostly low maintenance locks, and they look so good
Nope.
that way.
Yeah, but I'd have to admit I did crochet all of them like once at around 3 or 4 months
Mm-hmm.
because I was so upset that they didn't look like dreads. I was so upset.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I crocheted them so they looked like dreads for another month or so, and then they were back to their old
Yeah.
self again.
With crochet hooking, you definitely have to like do once a month or so. And my dreads looked nice and crochet hooked, and yours looked so nice not crochet hooked. So everyone can have really cool dreads in their own style.
Yeah, but the dreads that I wanted were the dreads that you had.
Those
I
are
wasn't
high
wanting them
maintenance.
much. But I
Yeah.
also wanted to do the natural neglect method, so I kind of like mixed them up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think that like once you've had your dreads for a few years and they're a lot longer, that they'll look like more cylindrical even though you went the lower maintenance route.
Yeah, I
So,
have some. I have this one. Do you see?
oh, let me move my face away from that. Yeah, that guy.
It's like flat from here to the tip, In here it's just round.
Yeah,
And
it's
this is, I think, all the growth I got from 1 year.
oh yeah, and I always have noticed that it seems like people's hair will like shrink and bunch up so much, and then the new growth can come out. Sometimes the end of the lock is like super fat, and then the root is a lot thinner.
Yeah, if I hadn't brushed mine out, the tips, I think I brushed them out like last week or something. I had some of them, like the tips, they were blunting themselves.
Yeah, I've seen that happen on a few people. I've done maintenance for the tips, just like if you don't do anything to them. But for some people, they always stay completely loose and won't lock up. So,
Maybe they brush their tips. I've been brushing my tips now
yeah, put
because
some
I have
oils.
like normal hair on the tips.
It looks really nice, and it probably added enough length for you to style them more, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Before I brushed them out, they were like here, and
Yeah,
I hated it so much.
yeah, and I wanted to ask you about that. So I know your hair has shrunk up from like waist length all the way up to like your shoulders, and I wanted to ask, when did the shrinking start, and what was like the process of your shrinking kind of like? Like, did it loop up, or how'd that
Mhm.
work for you?
Yeah, so I started to dreads around like May, and then during the summer they were like okay, they were still long and still like skinny, but like towards the end of the summer, they started looping up, and
Okay.
I didn't do anything with it. Just once I crocheted the loops away, and then they were like normal cylindrical. But then, what was I saying? Yeah, the loops, and then after the loops, they started to like fold back onto the dreads. Like they weren't sucked in; they were folded on top of the dread.
Okay, so they kind of went like this.
Exactly. I wish I hadn't brushed those out.
Oh, because then we
And
could see, huh?
yeah, if we had done this last week, and that was those were the ones that I lost most of the length.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huh, that's cool. So, would you say that your locks are still shrinking or thickening? And if not, when did they stop?
I have no idea what they're doing right now. I don't know if they stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've definitely gotten so much thicker. Like they were all around this size, you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have really fat ones that
Wow. Yeah, that's a
that's
big
not
guy.
even a fat one. Like they're so fat now, I couldn't control, I couldn't do nothing. And I didn't even realize it because it was happening like so gradually, so slowly.
And now, bam, suddenly you have these
Yeah,
like
now.
nice thick locks on your head. That's so cool. Have you noticed one way to tell if your locks have stopped or slowed down the shrinking is if you gain any length? Did they ever start to like
No,
noticeably
no.
look longer?
But I know that I'm gaining length because of this little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Bead. That's my only bead left in my hair. I mean, look at this. This is serious growth in 1 year. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I had my last set for I think 6 or 7 months, and my hair had grown out like this far in my locks, but I had not gained any length at all.
No, 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 neither have I.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, maybe they'll start growing for you at like a year and a half. They'll start noticeably getting longer. I hope.
Yeah, I
It's
hope.
a process of patience.
It's been killing me. If I hadn't brushed the tips out, I was seriously thinking about brushing them out.
Oh,
But
because your
at the
hair's too
same time,
short for
I
you?
was so close to 1 year, so I couldn't really, you
I
know.
know. It's really hard when you want to brush them out. You're like, what do I do? But
I
yours
know
look so
brushing them out.
nice.
Thank you. Brushing them out was so fun. I picked them out with a really thick needle.
That's how I took mine out. Like maybe a 2 or 3 millimeter thick needle.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost addicting, really. You like
Not when you get near your roots. Oh, it's terrible. You're like, ow, 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 ow. Oh. All right, so what would you say are the pros and the cons of starting your locks on really long hair?
you will have long dreads for some time, and if they ever shrink, then you will have really short dreads for the rest of the however amount of time you'd like to keep your dreads.
Well, if you kept them for 8 years, I bet they'd get long. But that's a
Yeah.
commitment. That is a time commitment.
Yeah, but when you get your dreads, you at least for me, I wanted them really long, and I also had really really long hair. It was the longest I've ever had my hair been. And
Mm-hmm.
then I had my dreads. They were really long, and then I was doing all sorts of like hairstyles and like
I know, I
going.
saw those.
I was doing everything, and then one day I started not being. One day I was not able to like tie my hair up in a ponytail with one hand because I can't hold them in my hand anymore.
They're out of control. Oh, that's nice. So, um, did you expect starting your locks with long hair would give you long locks forever? And were you surprised by how they were maturing? It sounds like you were.
I'm so surprised, but mostly because I had no idea what I was going for. Like even when I was starting, I had zero information about dreadlocks.
Mm-hmm.
There was just this guy with dreads, and there was me. I wanted dreads. He had dreads. He showed me how, and I was watching your videos and other YouTube videos. And no one told me about sectioning. No one told me that they would shrink. No one told me, oh, don't make them so thick. Don't make them. No one told me anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I go crazy when there's websites that give weird information that's not totally correct, or why I
Like,
really always try to tell people who are starting dreads, like, please look at this video about sectioning and please know that they'll shrink. And that's why I'm doing this interview, is to kind of show people that if you want long dreads, it's sometimes better to start your dreads with short hair and grow them long, instead of growing your hair long for several years and then starting your dreads and then they'll shrink and then you have to grow the hair all over again.
or they could just use extensions.
Or they could just use extensions, but I know you are not a fan of extensions.
Like, it sounds so weird to me because like this is the most natural state of hair. And no offense, but you're going and putting extensions and you're putting something fake in something so natural. That
Yeah.
looks so good and long, but I can't say anything to that.
Well, I mean, my dreads were extended, so I think I think that people lock their hair for so many different reasons. So, for if one person loves the natural idea of it, then that's great, and you never should extend your hair. But, you know, other people like me would like to just have long, nice looking dreads like
Yeah,
really fast. So, you know,
you don't care about the things that I care about.
yeah, it takes all kinds, I guess. Well, did you have any final comments?
Go get dreads.
Yeah. Would you recommend them for everyone?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? It's becoming like tattoos. I think like 10 years ago, no one really had tattoos, and if you had tattoos, they'd be like, look at him, he's got a tattoo. And now it's the same with dreads. It's like some people are skeptical, and some people are like, I see so many people around the street, even in my city, with dreads,
Nice.
growing.
Well, good. All right. Well, Layla, thank you so much for doing this interview with me.
Thank you.
Yeah. And have a really nice day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.